the medical sales recruiter. I work for PHC Consulting. You can check out our website at www.phcconsulting.com. Today what I want to speak to you about are 5 quick tips for hiring top sales winners. I've been recruiting in the sales arena for medical and laboratory for the last 10 years, and I have found that there are five unique things that if you will do these during your interview process, you'll come out with better quality hires. So the first thing is use results decision making, and what that means is base future decisions based on past successes. Take a look at the sales reps within your organization, within your own teams if they're large enough, and characterize what it is about them that you like and what it is about them that you think has led to their success. So look at your top sales reps. Look at, do they have life science degrees? Do they have masters in business administration? Do they have B2B sales experience in their background? Do they have Midwest, perhaps they come from the Midwest. Maybe they have a military background. Maybe it's an educational piece. Maybe it's a top college, or it's someone that's always had to put themselves through college 100% financing. Just take a look at those things that are characteristic of your top performers within your organization. And then when you look for candidates, look for those characteristics. Okay, so that's number 1. Number 2, talk to your top reps, top candidates several times. Meet with them more than one time. Have others speak to them. Be sure and tell other interviewers what it is that you're concerned about a candidate. Perhaps there's one particular area that you're concerned about. Maybe it's their technical expertise. Maybe it's their sales skills and the training that they've had in past sales. Maybe it's because they've always sold a consumable product and yours is a capital equipment product, and you want them to delve a little farther into what their experience is there and how they'll do that. So have others interview the candidate, and be sure and interview them several times and talk with them at several different times during the interview process. Sometimes candidates come across exceedingly well over the phone the first time, or even in person the first time, but the next time you meet with them it's like they've had a personality change. Better to learn that now than after you've made the offer. Look for tells. I'm not a poker player, but my understanding is there are certain tells that you can figure out that will indicate different types of behavior, or perhaps a different hand in poker. So the tells in hiring are their follow-up. How quickly do they get back to you when you call them? It's their writing skills, whether they send you email thank you notes and what do those thank yous look like, how timely they are when they show up to interviews, how they dress, how they their presence, their behavior, and when you ask them the difficult questions, or perhaps when you delve into the areas of their resume where there's a little bit of question or concern, watch how their behavior changes. There's a really good book called Reading People that's excellent for helping figure out physical tells on people when you're dealing with them. And actually, as a sales tip, the Reading People book is really good both for the sales rep and the sales manager. Use assessment tools. Here in my own organization, I have every candidate that I'm about to hire take a DISC profile. I used to use Caliper. I use DISC now. I have clients that use the OPQ assessment, and then I have clients that have very specific profiles developed just for their sales force. Now, you don't have to have that kind of expertise. You can actually use the DISC, the Caliper, the OPQ where they're not as specific to your sales force. But what you do need to do is absolutely have your top reps take that profile and look at what they have as strengths and weaknesses, because you want to emulate that going back to the results decision making that we talked about earlier. And the last thing is pay attention to references. I'm amazed how managers aren't interested in reference checking. And reference checking is when you can find out whether or not you have done a good job during the hiring process, because the references on a good sales rep are glowing. They are exceedingly positive. The candidate with the references where they'd like to hire them again, they're pursuing them for a current opportunity, they've offered to hire them but the candidate's turned it down, they've referred them to other companies. When you hear those kinds of things in the reference check, you know you've got a winner. But if you have a reference check where it's more like, hey, he worked from here to here for me, he did this job, he is eligible for rehire, and it's more cool, that's not a good reference. And you need to ask yourself, why would that be? Because if you are a player, you know that you can identify 2 to 3 professional references that will tell wonderful things about you to someone who's checking your references. And so you need to demand that of your top candidates. Don't put off references as just a minor piece of the recruiting and hiring piece. In the sales arena, the references are key. So the 5 top tips: use results decision making. Look at who's doing well now and what their characteristics are. Number 2, talk to your candidates more than once, several times, different types of interactions. 3, look for the tell signs. Read that book, Reading People. It's excellent. Use assessment tools. That's number 4, like the DISC profile, caliper, OPQ. And then number 5, pay attention to the references. They are very, very powerful. So if you do these 5 things, you're going to find that your hiring process is going to be a lot more successful, and you're going to have a lot higher quality candidate. Again, this is Peggy McKee with PHC Consulting, specializing in sales in medical and laboratory arenas. If you need anything at all, or if you have any questions, call us 888-263-5688, and do check out our website www.phcconsulting.com to learn more about us, and also to learn more about hiring quality sales reps.